classical singing, but nowadays I sing lots of contemporary and experimental music. However, I actually like singing both, and I also like combining both styles in a program. If you would like to know more about me, please look at my website www.irenekork.de, and I invite you to subscribe to my monthly newsletter. That would be so wonderful to be connected with you also on that way, and you will know everything I'm doing because I'm doing a lot, yes. In this podcast, I talk about themes all around contemporary music. I share with you the behind the scenes, the insider knowledge, and what is most important to me. I bring you the human beings out of this world closer. I'm cooperating with the NMZ, Neue Musikzeitung. And in today's episode, I'm talking to Kristine Tjøgersen. She is a composer from Norway, and she's having a premiere with the WDR Symphony Orchestra in Cologne on the 29th of May. And she's written a new piece for this orchestra, and it has the name Wolpertinger. So let's dive into this talk that we find out how Kristine is composing, how she got into composing, and everything about this piece, Wolpertinger, for 29th of May in Cologne. Hello and good morning, Kristine Tjøgersen, and I'm so excited to talk to you today in my podcast, Neue Musikleben.
Yes, it's so nice to be here.
And I'm always thankful for this connection that we have nowadays, because you're in Norway and I'm in Germany, and we can still talk about great things and eventually also about the premiere you're doing with the WDR Symphony Orchestra. But first, I would like to know from you, how did you find your way into new experimental music?
Yeah, because I grew up where I am now, actually at the south coast of Norway, and it's a really tiny place. It's not a village. It's just a place by the ocean. And but I listened a lot to the radio when I was a kid, and it was this experimental radio program that I really loved, and I recorded on cassette player and listened to it all the time. But I didn't think about that this was experimental music or anything. I just loved music. And I also started to play clarinet in the school band here when I was 7 or 8. And I played a lot of clarinet. And I don't know. I think it was just a huge love for music. And when you have that, you just want to know more and dig deeper into it. So it was very natural. When I started to play clarinet, it was first a classical, and then when I was at high school, I listened to, Stravinsky, Bartók, Gesualdo, all these things, and then you start to listen to the 20th century music. So it was very natural to dig into it. And first time I took clarinet lessons in Oslo, my teacher was actually in the Cicada ensemble. Rolf Borch, and he taught me how to play multiphonics on clarinet, and that was when I decided that I wanted to be a clarinet player. So then I was, okay, no way back, I just want to play contemporary music. And I thought, actually, because I was really naive and from this tiny place, I thought that everybody played contemporary music at the academy and not classical. This is really strange. So I was so shocked when I started there. I was listening to experimental pop and rock and just wanted to play contemporary music on my clarinet. And then it was like Brahms, Beethoven, Mozart, and all these things. I was not allowed to play contemporary music. They always say, I have to wait. But then, yeah, I played it anyways. So, yeah, that was my way into it. I just loved it. It was just my passion immediately. I don't know. I didn't have to find a way. It just happened naturally.
It's always great when it just happens. And so when you had to play all this classical repertory, now looking back, would you also think it helped you in some way, or kind of, I don't know, made the picture whole? Or
of course, I really love the classical music. It's a huge part of me. And I also think, like, when I compose for orchestra, it's there because I also played so much orchestra music and been working in orchestra for many years. So I really love it. It's but I think it's important to play both, and it's
I also like both, but for me the way was the other way around. I studied classical singing, and at first I didn't know that I would end up in this contemporary field, but I feel it gave me a very solid technique that I can do anything that I want. But also coming from the other way must be also very exciting to just add the classical playing techniques to the multiphonics.
I always play the classical techniques, and I love practicing these basic techniques. It's so I always loved it. It's I love practicing, and especially the most basic stuff. It's really zen. You get into this really state of mind, and I love that things you can really practice the small details. I always love that.
And how did you then get to the composing part from playing the clarinet?
Oh, that's very strange, because I feel that I worked so hard to become a clarinet player. It was really blood, sweat and tears, and I practiced so many hours every day and never thought I was good enough in a way. But with the composing, it was maybe at the end of my master's at clarinet studies, or when I finished, I started to make some music, but I didn't thought it was making music, because I played in some contemporary music groups, and I made some for my groups, and then they asked for more, and then suddenly other people asked for a piece, and I just started to make pieces. It was actually quite easy. I don't know. It was freedom. For me, it was freedom to compose, because clarinet I felt was really influenced by teachers and everybody that I wanted to please everybody. And also when you play in orchestra, you have to fit in, and I really wanted to fit in everywhere. But with the composing, I feel like I could be me, I could be free, and I could make the music I had inside of me. And it was not so easy on my clarinet, because it was so influenced by all the teachers in a way. So, and also Carola Baucott plays a big role here, because I played a lot of her music, and I remember we played with Asa Misimasa, her clarinetten trio, and I was a huge fan of her music, and we played for her a rehearsal. And after this rehearsal, she asked me Kristine, do you compose? And I was like, how did you know that? It was not, I didn't call myself a composer or anything. And she asked me if we can go for a dinner, and she asked me to bring my music. And then she looked at my scores and just invited me to study with her in Linz to study masters. And I was so shocked. Are you kidding?
It's so amazing that you got discovered, or people, I mean, you said it was easy, but that there was the support immediately, and people could see it in you, your talent.
Yeah, I don't know, but then I started to take myself seriously, and I started to study there. So I don't have so much background, I haven't studied composition. I don't have any rules. I haven't learned any rules in a way. I just always loved scores and study scores and play music. So yeah.
It's so great to hear those. I mean, when I talk to people like you in this podcast, particularly to hear how individual the ways and the paths are, and that composition can be so much freedom comparing to playing an instrument. And because I often thought, people sometimes ask me too if I would compose, and so far I cannot imagine it at all, because what I enjoy as an interpreter is to dig into different pieces and different styles. It's like putting a new dress on each time, and I really enjoy that. Mm-hmm. And I think the hardest decision for me would be, I might have ideas to choose, to say, okay, this is the one I'm choosing now, and I'm like, I think I cannot do this. And this is maybe the opposite to freedom. I don't know.
Yeah, because you have to take a lot of decisions, but I feel you can really play around while composing. Because you have different medium, you have like the orchestra, and you can make music theater, you can go crazy with some, I don't know, visuals, or have fun. For me, it's not always fun, but I try to get in contact with some, I don't know, some fun or some, I don't know.
It's great to hear it, that it's so free and wide and exciting. And so, since you are a musician yourself, a clarinet player, do you have the feeling that you can relate more to the performers, how they feel, or what might challenge them, or how to pick them up? Because I find this is also a skill good or some composers have when you're in rehearsal. How do you ask for what you want? And I mean, you can do it in a very nice, encouraging way, but it can also be a little. I think Carola, since I worked with her too, I think she also does it in a very nice way. It always helped me to bring out really what she wants. But I think this is really a skill.
Yeah, I think a lot about the musicians when I make music. And it's very important for me that they feel comfortable playing it. Okay, you have to push maybe somebody a little bit, but also I think it's especially interesting with the orchestra, because I know how it is to sit in the orchestra, and you should have like deep respect for the orchestra musicians, because it's really and amazing job, but it's a really hard job. and I know that everybody wants to do their best. And in an orchestra, you never want to stick out or get pointed at and do this better or do this differently. So the way to make people feel comfortable playing contemporary music in orchestra, I think that's very important, to find a way that they feel it's something that they want to do. And,
I mean, that's also a very important point you're touching on, because when I mean, you have worked in an orchestra, and I know you also have written already for orchestra before, but this is also a very new experience for some composers, and how you talk to the orchestra or to the player in the orchestra or to the conductor, that they actually do what you want. And maybe oftentimes there are not that many rehearsals, so you maybe have to focus on what is most important. And since you know both sides, I have also lots of composers who are listening here, or also young composers who are still studying somewhere. And what would be an advice you would give to how to communicate with an orchestra?
I think it's very important that you know what you're doing, and that you know all that. If you put in, contemporary music techniques or some new stuff, you really have to know how it is played, and that it is possible to be played. And I often meet many players, orchestra players, and also really classical players, and try out everything. And I find very good notation. I hope try my very, very best, and to find very good intuitive notation for experimental things, so it looks very tempting to play, because I know I really love the craft of a score, or how to write music, and it's very interesting to find a way that the score looks tempting. Like, I love playing nice scores myself, and so I think to be very clear and really know what you want it to sound like, because you are there, you cannot be unsure in front of an orchestra, then they will eat you. You really have to know everything you do very clear, and all the techniques, how it is produced, you have to try out yourself. I try to play most of the instrument myself, and all the percussion techniques I could play myself, and just so I know with my body how to do it, or try out, so I know what is difficult, how to have the fingers or with the string instrument, or so I really
amazing that you try out all the other instruments as well. You're a genius.
I have so many instruments at my studio. Many of my students like to go to my studio because then they can try out on all kinds of instruments. I've been like collecting.
And since we're already talking about orchestra pieces, let's talk about Wolpertinger, the premiere, which will be on the 29th of May in Cologne with the WDR Symphony Orchestra. And I just looked up because I had no clue what Wolpertinger is, I have to admit. And it's a rabbit that has special features. It's a kind of a fantasy rabbit or hybrid rabbit. And
you don't have to be a rabbit, actually. It can be it's an animal.
It just can be an animal, because when I looked it up, the internet showed me at first the rabbit with wings and horns.
Yeah.
Okay, so it can be anything. So what is Wolpertinger in your piece?
I felt like this Wolpertinger gave me a lot of freedom, because the other pieces, orchestra pieces I made many of my pieces is placed on a special place, or I'm like exploring. For example, the last piece I made for WDR, this Pelagic Dreamscape, it was placed in the Røst, this island in the north of Norway, and all this, I stayed there, I listened to all the sound environment, and it's really specific place that the audience are going to. But with this Wolpertinger, I wanted to be a bit crazy and just mix different animal sounds to create a new animal with the orchestra in a way that are really a hybrid animal. And it was strange because I was in München, working with the orchestra there, and then I got this question from Marie Chacot if I wanted to make this piece. And then I went in the city, and I went past a cafe, and I saw this crazy stuffed animal in the window, and I was like, oh my god, what is this crazy thing? And I went inside there, and I said, I'm sorry, but what is this? And the lady said, oh, it's a Wolpertinger. And I was like, okay, that's the name of the orchestra piece. So that was the same day. So sometimes it happens really quickly. And then it was the name. And I started to read about it. And it was actually like 200 years ago or more. It was in the Bavarian forest. It was some taxidermists that made these special creatures that is like... put together of it's, as you said, rabbits and and the birds, and they have wings, they can have antlers, they can have many different parts of animals put together. And they said, oh, I met this creature in the forest, it actually exists, and people start to believe this. And but it looks crazy. I went to this hunt and fishing museum in München last year, and they had the biggest collection of this. And I actually bought two of them myself.
That's what I thought. You should have bought them, or maybe the orchestra will give you one more.
I have two different ones in my living room. It looks kind of crazy. And I feel they're kind of alive. I have to say hello to them when I'm getting home, because they look really and they are going to jump.
So cool. So I guess you had fun writing this piece. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about this piece, other than everybody should go there and listen to it? And
for me, I wanted, because it's this hybrid animals is from all over the world. They have this in different cultures, so it's not only the Bavarians that have this, but you find it in America and Asia, and all these different animals put together. And so I have animals from all over the world, and many strange animals that you don't think have this sound, like koala bear. Do you know how it sounds? They have really special sound. And flying fox and Tasmanian devil and hummingbirds and fish owl. Yeah, many different. But you don't have to know that it is an animal. It's music too.
So you also looked for sounds that could sound like some animal.
I don't know. It's also filled with beauty. Some are really melodies, and it's a big mix. So it's like, beauty and grotesque and wild and rhythmic. And I also actually I have an old Casio keyboard, and I used some rhythm boxes in this Casio keyboard, put it together, and I thought it would be fun if the orchestra is sounded like a Casio keyboard at one point. So yeah, I think I gave myself a lot of freedom in this piece, since I could put all these different things together. Yeah.
Sounds really amazing. And you're in Sweden. I'm also often curious how, and with the scene in Germany, you're being performed here. You got the Siemens Prize, and you studied in Linz. What is different in Norway, or what can you say about the contemporary music scene there, or compared to Germany, Austria?
I think what's special here in Norway is that the different scenes are working a lot together. Like it's the jazz scene, experimental jazz, it's a huge thing in Norway. And folk music and, of course, classical and pop, experimental pop. We are having concerts together. We play on each other's records and we make pieces together. We have small clubs with the concerts. And it's not like in Berlin. I've felt it's maybe like you have this small place for only this style, and then it's here with only this style. But especially in Oslo, where I live, it's a really big mix, and I feel people are listening to each other's music, so you get very inspired by each other. So I think it's super nice. It's so many good musicians in Oslo now. It's very vibrant music. Life, it's every day, it's something I want to go and listen to. It's really amazing.
That is really amazing that you can put all those styles together. I've seen that in other countries too, like also in Great Britain or so. And I think we Germans are still kind of ordered, and there's, as you said, there's this place, and let's see if it can change too.
Yeah, but it's also nice. Everything. It's also good.
And I assume you're still playing the clarinet. You're also teaching, you told me. How do you get everything done, or how do you keep the balance with composing, or do you have like time structures, or are there more different phases where it's more playing or more composing?
Actually, I'm not playing that much anymore, so it's really rare that I play concerts now. It's a little bit. Now I only have one ensemble. It's Ensemble Neon that I play together with, but it's really rare. It takes so much time to get into this shape that the standard I want to have. So it's hard with playing, but I actually play a lot when I compose. Then I need my musicality, and I also sing a lot when I compose and play all kinds of instruments. So it's really intuitive when I record, and I try not to think so much in a way in some periods of the composing. I need to stay in touch with my intuitive musicality by playing.
And
how to manage my time.
So you play while you compose?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And I record, and I play and more, and I record more, and often I make the whole piece by playing instruments and sing, and I have it in my Pro Tools. So I have the sound sketch before I start to write it down.
That's cool. It's probably, I mean, I can assume that it's also then, as you said, tempting for the performer to play, because I also of experience when composers can sing what they have written. In my case, I'm a singer. And I mean, it doesn't have to be the most beautiful sound, but they can do it. And then it's also music that I can approach in a way easier, because sometimes I have the feeling it's just, invented in the head.
Yeah.
And that often has a different quality when they also present it to be. And I found that very fascinating.
Mm.
And so your main focus is nowadays on composing then?
Yeah, it's very demanding, so I work 7 days a week all the time with composing. It's also to compose it. it's much more than only to create. It's so much to organize and all the project, and it's really a lot of things to do. That it's more than just create. Yeah.
Do you have certain times in the day, or does it change?
For me, it's so important to have the mornings to create, and not because then for me I'm really fresh in my head when I wake up, and to have before 1 o'clock to have this as holy and not have any appointments, or I try to not read email. I try to put my phone off and just have to, so I can be very focused on composing and not be disturbed, because when you start to read emails or news, or it's really hard to get into this deep concentration. So to get like 5 hours or something, then I'm really lucky. But if I get 2 hours, or I don't know, without any disturbance, then it's amazing. But when I start to write down things, it's more technical. Then I can get more disturbed. Then I don't need this totally super focus, because it's more technical than But to create, you really need headspace and peace and quiet. For me,
you really know yourself, what it needs to get things done, and so you also have like an overall plan that you probably know how much time you need for an orchestra piece, and every composer is different. I also know that Carola told me once that she's kind of a slow composer, and so everyone is different.
Yeah, everyone is different, but I think I have my discipline from practicing clarinet, because you cannot sit there and wait for inspiration to practice. As a player, you just go there and you practice. You just start. And I think that's very different from people that are composers from the start. I don't know, that I never played instrument on a high level. They can just sit there and wait for inspiration or something for a long time, but I just start and just poof. So I think I work a lot. I can work very fast because I get into this flow as the way you would have practice an instrument in a way.
And is there anything you do to kind of balance out the sitting down and composing? Do you enjoy the nature you have in Norway?
Yeah, I walk a lot. I think to walk is very important for me when I compose, because when I make music and then I have to walk, and then I don't listen to any music or any. I don't listen to podcasts. I just have to think about the music. Yeah, sing in my head, like the music I'm creating. And sometimes I sing into my phone. People think I'm talking in the phone, and I just go around singing or talking about the next part of the piece, or like.
Well, that's cool. You already recorded and then you can write it down.
Yeah.
Once you're at home or so. Great. And who or what has played the greatest role in shaping you, and what inspires you?
I think to grow up in a place that nothing happens, in a way. Very small place have shaped me a lot, because I have to do everything myself. And this with listening to the radio, play clarinet with myself, recording myself on cassette player, playing duets with myself, And also to be a lot in the nature with my parents, and they showed me really to look at these small details in nature. Yeah, this have shaped me a lot. And also that they started this music school in Tvedestrand, the nearest small town, when I was 9 or something. And then a clarinet teacher moved here, Astrid Holum. She is amazing. So I started, if she didn't move here, I don't know if I would have become a clarinet player, but she was amazing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
That's so nice, yeah. How it all falls into place.
And also Carola Baukot plays a big role in my life, that she believed in me. Like, she saw me and believed that I could do this. And yeah, I really trusted her judgment that I could do this.
And that is also so important to meet people like that, because oftentimes we don't see whatever the beauty or the talent in ourselves, but if someone else sees it and kind of holds it for us, then we can go. And that's amazing. It's a great gift. Yeah.
Also, my husband, he's also a composer, and he's always supporting me a lot. And we talk together about what we are doing, and we travel together and do this together in a way. So it's nice to not be alone.
Wonderful.
I don't like that.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Very nice.
And I mean, you also already mentioned that you're singing a lot. How would you say is your approach for composing for voice? Because I also know, I mean, I obviously love composers who write for voice because I can sing it, but I also know that some composers are struggling with it, or they even want to avoid it. So how do you approach it? Or do you have an advice for people who are still kind of struggling?
For me, it's, I must say that I feel that I'm mainly an instrumental composer, and it took me quite a long time to start to write for voice, because for me text is really hard, because I don't know. For me, music is not about the text. I remember Jenny Wahl, she's one of my best friends. She's like a fantastic experimental pop artist, and she writes amazing text, but I told her that I never listen to the text when I listen to music, and she got so disappointed that I didn't. Oh, yeah, but for me, I like to tell a story with sound, like to not have any text. I don't know, for me, it's a bit limited with text. But I made 2 pieces with voice now, and I have some orchestra pieces with humming and la la la, you know. But I love the voice. It's really because it's inside the human. It's so special, and everybody have different voices. So it have to be special for the one you are creating the piece for. So I've been lucky to working with 2 amazing singers, Juliet Fraser and Silje Aker Johnsen. I made a solo piece for. So let's see. I don't know. You never know what's happening.
That's. I mean, there are great songs we can do, but it's also interesting. Maybe for some people, that's a good advice. If also maybe the text is blocking you, just to compose without text. Really, and I mean, Carola also didn't compose so much text. The pieces I have done, they are also. I mean, she's also very sound-oriented person, and what she looks for in the voice is also quite different than other composers do, and it's great stuff.
But it's really because my husband, he writes music theater and opera, and he also writes his own text. That it's amazing, and for him this is the natural way of telling stories. Like it's about storytelling. But for me, it's easy to tell stories without the text, because for me it's limiting, but for him it's really liberating, you know. So it's super interesting. Yeah.
It is very interesting. Wow. Yeah. And what does it mean for you to be true to yourself or authentic in this music business? And how do you keep true to yourself?
I think this is very important, and I don't think about being true to myself. I don't feel I have to. This is a problem in a way. For me, it was a problem with the clarinet player. I felt I was not true to myself at all, and I played a lot of music that I didn't feel it's like going out and take on some clothes. You feel really like strange walking around in these clothes, you know. And I feel I found myself when I started to compose, and that's when I started to be true to myself and what I wanted to do. So but to be true with yourself, I think it's so important to acknowledge yourself and think what you are doing is, and what you are carrying with you is special, and also give it, and think it is something you should give away. It's not only for you, it's something to give to more people. yeah, I think you should do what you love and find what you love and do that. It's actually a phrase from a music theater piece that I made about Yngwie Malmsteen. Yeah, he's tried to find his way into life, and I will listen to a lot of interviews with Yngwie Malmsteen. He's not like the nicest person, maybe he's, but and I cut together, and in the end he said like, do what you love. And you find what you love and you do that. You cannot sit around and worry what other people may think. So you have to express what you want to express. You only live once. Yeah. So I think this is from me, actually, that you cannot worry so much. You just have to do what you think is right for you. And also listen. And you should support others and listen to as much music as possible, because it's how you learn is to be a part of a community, support others, and be interested in others. I think that's the most interesting is others. For me, myself is not I feel I'm very boring, but I think other people are super interesting, and to be open and curious about others' music and other people, it's making life rich. Yeah.
Great. And it's also interesting with your story that the clarinet or playing clarinet felt so different, and then there was this freeing process through something that matched you even more, or even the clarinet led you to this. I mean, everything is good for something, or you're now very understanding with other musicians and the orchestra. So great stuff. And you said it focuses you, all those gifts, and there's so much truth in what you just said. What does success mean for you?
Success is to feel good about yourself, or I don't know, to have friends, is to have success, to be a part of community. And I don't know actually what success is, because to have a good life, I feel very, very privileged, or to be able to compose or to express myself. And maybe that's success, to be able to do it. And I think success is to never give up, because it's so many times that I could have given up and just continue. So success is to never give up, I think. Just move on and try to enjoy what you're doing, and also see people around you, and to be with friends and family. And listen
is there
to
anything
others.
I like listening to you, and you're not boring at all. At least not for me. What is there anything that drives you forward, or do you have a kind of a vision?
Maybe it's just to never give up. And I feel I have so many pieces inside of me. I don't know if this is normal, but I feel I have things that wants to come out. And now I just finished this Wolpertinger some days ago. And now I just want to start a new orchestra piece. I don't know, maybe it sounds crazy. I told this to my husband. He was like, oh, that's great.
I think so too. I mean, if the ideas are bubbling up.
Yeah, I feel it's bubbling. I'm looking forward to the next pieces, and I'm looking forward to work with musicians. I think that drive me forward is this meeting points with them, to meet people through music, because that's a very special meeting. Also, when you play together, it's really special how you get to know people when you play. Like with the friends I have from when I played chamber music and stuff. It's a very special friendship, because you're there together playing without words, and it's amazing. And I also love these meetings with musicians all over the world, and composers, and audience, and music lovers. I think it's so important with music, because it keeps us being human. And I feel it's important to make music and play and spread it as much as possible. Like, good stuff, positivity and curiosity.
Yeah, wonderful. And we actually arrived at the last question, and you already said so many great things, but maybe you can add something else. Which tip would you like to give young artists?
I think it must be what I already say, to never give up and just continue, because I think that's the main thing for everybody that creates art, and is to just don't give up and be curious about the people around you and support others and be a part of a community, and be curious about other people, other music, listen as much as possible to music and learn. And because it's also important to learn the craft so you are able to express yourself. So you are able to do that. And never give up.
Well, I thank you so much for this great conversation today, and I wish you a wonderful performance in May with the WDR Symphony Orchestra and this wonderful animal, Wolpertinger. And I hope I see you one day.
Yes.
In person.
Yeah, I hope we meet. That would be great.
This was the interview from today. I hope that it inspired you. And please send me your emails, send me your feedback, because I love to interact with you. Thank you very much that you tuned in with me today. I really, really hope that you liked it. And please tell your friends and colleagues about this podcast. I thank you very much. I wish you all the best. Live your music, live your life, and see you next time. Yours, Irene.